I know you can't see me, whatever. Um, hey y'all. Now I can. I'm trying to download this TikTok because you know the other platforms they hating on my connection and stuff. Talking about your connection, your connection. Yo, um, listen to the message. All right, because I know a lot of people like to go based off of looks and vanity and what they see, but I just be trying to hear what people are talking about. You know what I mean? That's how you can avoid a lot of drama. Listen to what's coming out of their mouth and watch what they do. You know what I'm saying? So, that's why I don't really like being on camera. I don't like being on camera. Plus, I don't like people thinking that they know me. I don't like that either. You know, I don't like that. And people think, oh, well, I know how she move. I know all that. You don't know somebody. Like you making up a fantasy relationship in your head, thinking that you know these content creators. You don't know these people, and you probably don't want to know them. And I'm sure they don't want to know you. Not for real. But no, I'm more of a just hear the message. I just want you to hear the message. If you have input, I'm always opening my ears. I'm always willing to listen, you know? But um we're living in some very strange times, y'all. Very strange times. And I don't think a lot of people understand just how heavy this is. The times that we're living in. A lot of people don't understand. That's why it's just going to suddenly hit them. And they're not even going to see it coming. And that's why this generation is filled with so many people who just want to be left alone. They don't want to be bothered by anybody because there's so much happening. There's so much going on around us. But people won't slow down and pay attention to what's really happening. They just avoid each other more and more and more. And I'm not saying that that's not a wise thing to do because it's a dangerous world, you know. But when you are living like our people live today, like people live today, you are depending on someone else in your same generation. We're not talking about ancients. We're not talking about old text, um, writing about future prophecy. We're talking about people who aren't even halfway past 100. People who only live to be 120 years old. You're having to depend on your news and information from these people and think that it's trustworthy information that you're receiving and laugh about things of old. That makes no sense to me. But hey, if you don't like the message, you just don't like the message. And there's nothing anybody can do about that. You think people that give you the message are crazy. They call you crazy, they call you stupid, they call you weak, they call you dumb, and all types of things for giving them a good message. But it is what it is. So now that we finally got started, because I was waiting to see if they were going to even let me get past a minute on here with this connection, right, issue that we're having on the streaming platforms. But anywho, let's get into it. So I wanted to talk about, I wanted to ask why the other races are asking black people all over the world for help. specifically asking black people of the transatlantic slave trade for help. Can you help me with this? Can you help me with? Why are you asking the most oppressed people in the world? And you can't say, "Oh, oppressed." Now they're not oppressed. Black people are oppressed as a collective. Our people are oppressed. You understand? We are at the bottom as a collective, and everybody knows it. Everybody knows. Um, do you need help with a human body shield? Is that what it is? You need help with a human body shield? You need help with a scapegoat? You need help with that? A sacrifice? A human sacrifice? Is that what these other races need help with? Do they need us to be a human sacrifice for them? Because I'm not understanding why a people that is so hated, right? I mean, I understand why. I understand why, but I just want to understand your understanding of it. I don't understand your understanding of why you would reach out to a people that have been crushed on for centuries. Why would you reach out to a group of people like that for help with anything? Why would you even ask them for help? Haven't they helped you enough? I mean, I want to understand your logic. I want you to make sense of that as another nation. Why is it logical for you to ask the lowest people in society as a whole for help? There's no reason I can think of. I mean, this is the same group of people that has been called crazy, lazy, poor, dusty, useless, uneducated, ratchet, all of these negative things, incompetent, been called bywords, proverbs. But we are being asked for help. Well, in order to know who they're asking to help from, we're going to have to ask them for more details. We're going to have to be more specific. Which group of black people are you asking for help? Or are you asking for the whole group of black people from the transatlantic slave trade for help? And if so, what is the description of this help that you're asking for? What is it? Is it something negative that you need help for? Do you need human sacrifices? Is that what it is? Come out and say it and be honest. And if it's not that, you're going to have to really explain what it is that you need the help of slaves for. You're going to have to explain it. But that's not all I see. At the same time, I go online because that's just some of the content. And then the flip side of that, I see a whole other group of other races and nations crushing us and dogging us and saying, we don't need you. Yeah, we don't regret what we did. We don't regret voting for our own demise. Anything but, you know, have you ruling over us. I'd rather be a king in hell than be a what? A slave to a nigger. Right? Because this is what it's all about, right? Why else would you be so angry? Why else would this group of people who voted for their own demise be so angry at black people at a moment, at a time like this? But people just don't consider. People don't want to question these things. You understand? People don't want to ask the right questions. You understand? We don't ask the right questions. We run with the imaginations of our own hearts and think that's enough. That's sufficient. That's good enough. Because I read out of this book and that book and this book and that book, and then I put these books together, and then voila, I made something up. The Most High, the word of Yah is right there. That's all you need. That is literally all you need. And I'm talking to my people right now. That's all you need is the Most High's word. And you'll see everything that's happening. And you'll make sense of everything. It'll make sense. Everything will make sense. But people call me crazy. People call people that read out of the word of Yah like me crazy. They call us crazy, and they say that we are delusional and we believe in fairy tales and all of this crazy stuff. They just make up because they can't understand it. And because they can't understand it, well, then it's wrong. Don't you know that's how people operate? People only can go based off of their own understanding to the best of their ability. And I have to say, I've been that type of person before, where I rejected the Most High's word. Because surely Christ is God, right? So we were taught. But we discard the whole word. We discard the whole Bible, and we don't just take off the New Testament. We don't break it down. We just throw the whole thing away instead of digging deeper. Because you have to keep digging. Right? I tore the New Testament out of my book. And I set it on fire. I did. I tore out the New Testament and I set it on fire. I set it ablaze. And then I realized that I might have to reference it again. Just to show you how the word of Yah confirms itself through other books, including the Quran. You understand? The New Testament will validate the word of Yah. The Quran will validate the word of Yah. All religions will validate the word of Yah, but you'll never see where the word of Yah validates others because it stands alone. It stands alone. Just like we have as a people all our lives. We've had to stand alone without any support of others. We've had to stand alone. And no one really cares, right? No one has really cared, I should say. No one has really cared about that. Okay, so let's go to my page because I need to make sure that it's. Oh, okay. What's up, y'all? I see y'all on Facebook. But no one's really cared about the struggle of our people and what we've had to go through, what we've had to endure. They just want us to help them. We need your help. They won't even allow us in certain places, right? They won't even allow us in certain places, certain establishments. To this day, y'all don't think just because it doesn't say no niggers allowed on a big sign doesn't mean that that establishment allows black people, right? That's why they ask you to leave, right? Like we live in denial just because they cover it up and make it all pretty, right? Yeah, they're still gonna ask you to leave their exit their establishment because you're not welcome there. You're not, even to this day. So what rights do we think that we really uh have attained? Like what rights do you think we have obtained from the civil rights movement? Except the right to be silent. We had the right to be silent. And that's not even referring to us. That's talking about them. Those other nations. Because now they just do it silently. That's why racism hasn't gone anywhere. Because it never left. It just showed up in different forms. They just became craftier. That's all. But our people feel like we have gained rights. But that's all an illusion in a system that was built to work against you. So, what is it that some of our people think we can even help these other races with if we don't even know who we are? What do you think they're asking you help for? You're getting upset because we're so caught up in uh, a plantation mentality, and that's not to insult anyone, but that's just to say we're so used to the daily grind of working and serving others, right? Working for and serving others. That, when someone interrupts you in the middle of you doing something, you just spaz out, you just go off. You don't even know why you going off. You just going off because they distracted you from whatever it was that you were working on, right? But I say, as a collective, as a whole, oh, okay. Thank you. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Praise Yah. Yeah, I think, as a collective, as a whole, we need to just slow down, and we need to just point the mirror in their face and ask them what it is they're asking from us. That's the real question. Because in order for us to understand what's really going on, we have to get some answers from the mouth of the horse. Let the mouth of the horse tell you what it needs, what it wants, what it's after. And if it can't explain that, right, then it's pointless to go back and forth with these people. It's just a distraction. You understand? It's just a distraction, my people. All of this race stuff, is just a distraction. And we have to stop feeding into it because we are angry. And I understand the anger. I understand why we're angry. We have the right to be angry. You understand? You have the right to be angry, but how you express that anger has to be considered, right? It has to be considered. We're used to fighting one way. There's more than one way to skin a cat, as they say, right? First, we got to figure out why they're asking help from a group of people who has not even learned to come together as a unit yet. We are scattered and divided. We haven't even come together to help ourselves. That's right, yeah, yeah, yeah. Praise Yah. We can't proceed in that state, that mind state. That's right. How can a divided house help a falling kingdom? How can a divided house help a falling kingdom? Right? It can't. And it won't. And it shouldn't. Because this is not the work of man's hands. This is the work of the Creator. Hallelujah. This is the work of the Creator. So instead of focusing all of our attention on those people who have never been for us, you know that they've always been against you. This is no secret. That's been exposed. I mean, everyone knows that. The world knows that. It's not news. We all know they've never been for us. Your enemies come at you and they attack you from different directions. That's what they do. They've been doing it since we've been around them. They attack you from all directions. They've been doing that since we've been around them. we just continue to allow it. Black Panthers couldn't even truly take off like it was supposed to in all of the black metropolises we've ever had, because your enemies attack you from all directions. That's right. That's right. They have to know to bless us and not to curse us, or else. That is right. You know, we can tell them that all day. Don't curse us, or you'll be cursed. And you can show them in the word till you're blue in the face. Go out there and tell them that, but don't harp on it. That's all I'm going to say about that. Because the longer you stay on a subject that has nothing to do with us coming together as a people, you're distracted. You're distracted, my people. You understand? As long as you are putting all of your heart, soul, and might and energy into a subject that has nothing to do with us coming together as a people, then you are distracted. And that is not uh, unintentional. Believe that. All right? So they know us. They know us. Shoot, the heathen knows a lot of us better than a lot of us know ourselves and each other. And that's crazy. You understand? And I should say certain of those heathens, not all of them. Right? But yeah, we have to start focusing on our own journeys as a people, coming together on one accord. That's a part of the process. And you have to trust the process. We have to, first, we have to stop fighting. That's the first thing you got to do, because the fighting is what's holding a lot of us back. We have to stop fighting. Unless you're fighting the enemy, because the enemy sometimes can look like us. You understand? And what is an enemy of us? An enemy of us is anyone out there, male or female, who divides us and sows discord and puts us down and oppresses us, male or female, to cause chaos, an agent of chaos, someone who wants to sow discord within our people and have us fighting. People that like instigating fights and stuff. Those are enemies of our people. They like to see us fight and kill each other. You understand? They like to see us divided. They working for the enemy. You understand? You have to know when you recognize that. Like, you have to know how to recognize that, rather. You have to know how to recognize that. And we got plenty of that happening. But see, they don't never get called out because they're behind the scenes. See? They're not the people that's out there actually doing the boxing and the shooting and the fighting. They doing all of the instigating. Online, in person, wherever it may be. They yeah, yeah. You hear them people? Knock her out. He got them hands. You hear them people? They're entertained by it. You understand? That's never a good thing. When we see fights break out, whether it be physical, whether it be an argumentative, right? We should be trying to mediate the situation. If you're not trying to help the situation and mediate the situation and put that fire out, you're a part of the problem. Now I understand not wanting to get shot and jumping in the middle of somebody's stuff and catching somebody bullets, because stuff like that can happen. I understand being wise about things and playing things safe. I understand that. But to be out there egging them on and filming it like it's some world star stuff and all of that petty stuff that we do on every level, because sometimes it's even in the workplace, bullying each other, your own people and your coworkers in the workplace. And you got the instigators and the haters and the gossipers and all of this stuff going on with all of this division, man. That stuff causes division. Hating your people without cause, hurting your people without cause. All of this stuff causes division. That's right. That's the right mentality, balance, but toward good. That's right. That's right. Praise Yah. Because you look at the other races and you can see that they have their problems. And I hate using them as a comparison. But it's like we don't have anything else to compare it to, unfortunately. We just don't. But you look at the other races and you see how they interact with each other. And you know they got problems. You see they got problems with each other, right? But they know how to come together when they need to come together. And we'll just leave it at that, right? They know how to come together when they need to come together. And it's unfortunate that a lot of them know how to come together when it's against us, particularly. They know how to come together on things like that. And they also know how to come together when they need to build stuff. But is it all righteous? No, of course not. But with us, right, we know that we are a special case when it comes to working together. The world knows that we're a special case when it comes to us working together. Which is why it doesn't make sense why the world is asking us for help at a time like this. It just doesn't make sense unless they explain that. You understand? They're going to have to explain that because we have a lot of work to do as a people. We have a lot of work to do in healing ourselves and our families. And it's like, man, how could you want someone who's scarred and broken to come and help you with one more thing? With one more thing. Oh yeah, I need one more thing for you. I know you're bleeding out and you're dragging across the ground and your arm is dangling off, but I need one more thing from you. Like that's what it sounds like. Like what? Y'all see the state of black people? Everybody sees the state of our people around the world. All of us around the world, scattered to the four corners. Everybody sees our conflict. Everybody sees our issue. We've been uncovered for centuries. We've been naked and afraid for centuries. So I don't want to just go on and on and on about the same old thing. I just need to know. I just need some answers, y'all. Cause at this point, I feel like we just a little bit stagnant as a people. We're a little stagnant. We're still distracted with the other races, and we're not focusing in on ourselves truly. Like, we should see lots of content online right now about black people coming together with some solutions. Whether they see us or not, doesn't matter whether they see us doing that or not. They're falling. You understand? They can try everything in their might to stop it, but they can't stop it. You're falling. You're not on stable ground, right? They're not unstable. Their kingdom is falling. It is in a free fall. It's crashing to the ground. They don't have time to be worrying about us like that. They will put all of their might into coming after us. We know this. They've been known for doing that. They never stopped doing that to us, right? But they can't stop it. So what are we afraid of? What's holding us back? Why aren't we just talking to our people? See, we want the other people to talk to their people, and they need to. We need them. We want y'all to talk to y'all people and not talk to us. But at the same time, we need to stop talking to them, because at some point it becomes catering to their little emotional needs and pacifying them. As long as they're getting reactions out of us, they know that we're not making progress with each other. We keep giving them these reactions, and that needs to stop. Like, for real. Don't give them that much air. They don't deserve it. They need to work on themselves and turn back to the most, or turn to the Most High, because Most High never knew them. They need to turn to the Most High. And that's only something that they can do individually. You couldn't save them if you wanted to. You understand? Your job is to spread the word, give them a message, and keep it moving. Because we're supposed to be focused on our people. We're supposed to be focused on us. And if the Gentile and all them, they want to follow, follow. But I'm not here to carry you around, sir, ma'am. Okay? I'm not your Bentley. I'm not the Bentley to your Diddy. You understand? We not doing that. Those days are gone. We are not their slaves anymore. So we have to, start breaking up out of that mindset. I can understand not wanting to um, offend them. I can understand not wanting to harm them. Like a lot of them want to do to us. I can understand that, because we have hearts. We're human. But to actually give them all of the attention that we give them, those days are over. You understand? You have to get used to not giving them any air. You got to get used to that. You got to get used to learning your own people. You have to get used to loving yourself. And we have to get used to not wanting to fight each other. Get used to, when you see your people, you're joyful. You're joyful because you're here. You see another person that's a part of the transatlantic slave trade. Their ancestors were in the transatlantic slave trade. My ancestors were in the transatlantic slave trade. We have to learn how to connect on a deeper level. Like, yeah, we've been through hell together. These my people. You know what I'm saying? We have to get used to seeing each other as family and not the enemy, so that we can learn to talk to each other. Right? Understand each other, because we get offended about a lot of things. We get highly emotional, and that's because it's a defense mechanism. Because we're always feeling like, we're always in defense mode, because we're always getting attacked. You know what I'm saying? We're always getting attacked. from all directions. And it's been like this for the longest time. You understand? It's been like this for the longest. And I understand that. But before we can come up with a defense, we need to get an offense strategy. You understand? We need an offense strategy as well, my people. And the offense strategy is going to start with us, not the other team. You understand? The offense strategy starts with us, y'all. What are we going to do? Us, as a collective, with our people and for our people. These are the questions that need to be answered. And how do we know where to start? How do we know where to start? We need a whole outline of this, y'all. We need to know. We need a board meeting, man. For real. Cause this is real serious business. This is life or death. World War III has already started. You know what I'm saying? This is real life. This is reality. You can't call somebody crazy for stating the obvious. Everybody knows we're in World War III right now, right? It might not have popped off right now just yet. You know what I'm saying? But it popped off. You understand? And this is the time that we have to get stuff together. Together. I know there is an initiative. What is this? What was her name? Hold on a second, y'all. Let me get this information. Mm, yeah, but what's her name? What's her name? What's her name? Was Project Black Wall Street. If y'all know her name, what's that young lady's name? Let me see if I can get it off of here. Here go YouTube again hating. Good grief. Y'all don't even want me on YouTube now. But anyways, I know that there are a lot of projects out there as far as black unity goes, here and there, right? The problem is a lot of our people are not paying attention to that. Like, these are the platforms, or these are the initiatives that need to be voiced on these platforms. This is what we need to be talking about. Black progression on TikTok. All black content creators who are for our people, we need to be talking about black progression. Nothing but black progression. You understand? And don't be afraid, because your enemies are constantly stealing everything you have. Because what works for us is meant for us. What's for them is meant for them. And as you can see, our enemies are falling at this moment. Our enemies are falling. We have to detach ourselves and stop looking at it like we are one. If my enemy falls, I fall. No, you are not a slave. You are not their servant. If they fall, they fall. You understand? You have to focus on you. We have to focus on us. I want to look at platforms and see nothing but black progression. That's what I want to see. And content about black progression. That's it. That's how you separate. You understand? You separate by coming together. You separate from your enemies by coming together. Do you understand that? When you can come together under one accord, under one agreement, then you separate from those who are falling. There's nothing to be afraid of, my people. You understand? Nothing to be afraid of. We just need to learn how to deal with one another. Okay? Because I understand that a lot of us, we still don't know how to deal with each other. And it causes others to not want to deal with our people at all. And that type of behavior should be called out amongst our people. That type of behavior should be called out when it happens. If you got somebody that's trying to sow discord or start problems, drama within our people, spread rumors and doing all these things, it needs to get nipped in the bud. It needs to be handled right then and there. You need to voice these things, these issues when they happen. And then when our people voice these issues, they should not be uh, scorned, or they shouldn't be despised or corrected for doing the right thing, because that makes no sense. You are so used to, we are so used to, as a collective, we are so used to doing things the enemy's way that we've gone all the way backwards. We are backward. The enemy has raised you backwards. Do you know that? Your enemy has raised you to hate yourself. You've been raised to hate yourself. As long as you've been under the rule of your enemy nation, you've been raised to hate yourself. And that is the mindset That is the mentality that we're dealing with out here as a people. And it's wicked, whether you realize that is wicked or not. It's a wicked mindset. You've been raised to be just like your enemy to your own people, to yourself, to the world. You understand? But one day, I know, one day, our people are gonna snap out of it. They're gonna snap out of it because they're not gonna have a choice. They're not gonna believe it till they see it. I know what type of people we're dealing with. These are the stiff-necked people that the Most High is always referring to in the Word. So, my hopes for all of us coming together is not high, but my hopes for um, certain individuals of us coming together to form a collective are very high, because those who hear will hear, and those who want to continue in their ways, I'm telling you now, I'm just warning you, we don't want to deal with the reality of the situation because we want to stand for LGBTQ rights, and we want to stand for women's rights, and we want to stand. I'm not saying women should not have rights. You understand? I'm not saying that. And we want to stand for all of these different movements, right? We want to stand for all these different movements, but we don't want to stand for the movement to fix the community of the transatlantic slave trade. What about that group? Well, what about that cause? And I'm not just talking about Black Lives Matter. Black lives do matter, but they shouldn't only get matter when one of us dies. You understand? They should matter when we are alive right now. They say people only love you when when they're at your funeral. Come on now. What is that? That's not love at all. That's not love at all. We're supposed to love each other while we're living. We're supposed to care about each other while we're living. We're supposed to work on bettering our division and coming back together while we're living. This is the energy that we're supposed to be putting into our own, and not just um, a certain group of us. And just saying, oh, well, I'm just going to help this group of black people over here. No. We're supposed to be trying to help all our people as a whole, and let the Most High take care of the rest. Because the Most High is going to take care of it. It feels like our people are afraid to come together. And that's what frustrates me. Because I'm like, what are we afraid of coming together for? Just because you might not agree with the person standing next to you, so what? We're not going to agree on everything anyways. We don't agree with our parents all the time. We still love them. I mean, I can't speak for all of us, right? I don't know what you've been through. But I don't always agree with my parents, but I love my parents. You understand? We can have disagreements. We know what's punishable and what's not. We know what's acceptable and what's not. We know uh what requires severe punishment, and we know when minimal punishment is necessary. We know right from wrong, right? We can start there. We know right from wrong. Anybody coming to you talking about, well, what's right and what's wrong and all this, they don't need to be rocking with you or trying to rock with us. You understand? Because that group right there, that particular group, is the group that's gonna sow discord. That's what you have to eliminate from the group. You don't eliminate parts of the groups of our people based on certain, uh, I don't know, traits or looks and vanity, things like you don't do that. Education and financial status. You don't discriminate based on stuff like that. You discriminate based on, is this person going to be a nuisance and a hindrance to our progress? That's what you go based on when you're doing the process of elimination with our people. Or is this person going to be an asset? You understand? Is this person actually going to uplift our people? Is this person actually going to be joyful in our progression? That's who you need to unite with. You can start there. That's just a little piece of advice. Because I see a whole lot of our people on here that make content, and I just say to myself, wow, that person right there, they be an asset. A lot of our people have a lot to offer. A lot of our people do have a lot to offer. And they want to come together, but they just don't know where to start. A lot of us don't know where to start. And sometimes we need a little push, and sometimes we need a little help, a little advice. You understand? You come together that way. Who is trying to sow discord amongst us? Who is trying to start drama and cause problems and lie on people and spread rumors? Who's doing these things? These are the types of people we don't need amongst us. You come over here trying to whisper stuff in my ear and say these things. Well, how about we both go to whoever's being talked about and we resolve this issue right now? And if that person doesn't want to do that, they're a problem. Because you'll tell me about it in secrecy, about your own people. But you don't want to say it to where they can hear you. That's a problem. You understand? It's snakish. You want to get rid of the snakes amongst you. And once you get rid of the snakes amongst you, you can figure out a whole lot of other things. You can work with a whole lot of other things. But everybody knows snakes. The snake's skin doesn't change, it just sheds. Everybody knows snakes within our community. These are the ones who get shunned. These are the ones who get exiled. These are the ones who get removed. Because if you can't start nothing, there won't be nothing. You understand? Then you're going to have to come all the way out and show your devil horns. You're going to have to show it up front and let them know what you about. Because a lot of our people like to partake in that type of wickedness and work for the enemy And some of them ain't even working for the enemy. They're just doing it because they like to see other black people suffer. They like to see other black people fall. They like to see black people divided. That's an evil heart. So when you get rid of what's dividing you, you can start to come together. When you don't allow what's dividing you, you can start to come together. You understand? Because we're always going to be divided. We're always going to be divided if we allow certain individuals to continue to divide us. You got people out here that are purposely trying to get people arrested without cause. Purposely trying to get people out here offed by the police without cause. Purposely trying to ruin other people's um, endeavors without cause. Because it makes them feel good to do these things. And some of them are working directly with your enemies to do these things. And we continue to allow them in our midst. We continue to allow them to know our every move and everything. You understand? And it hinders our progress. So I just wanted to come out and ask a couple of these questions. You know, why do these some of these heathens in these other nations want descendants of the transatlantic slave trade to help them? What is the help that they're asking for? Right? And how we need to stop being so distracted by things that don't help or aid in black progression. It doesn't help the descendants of the transatlantic slave trade progress. It does not help us progress. So, where do we start? Where do we begin? How do we weed out the snakes within us that want to sow discord? They want um, us to be divided as a people. They want to talk about gender wars and what black men and black women are doing and all of these things. And it's like, it doesn't matter. I mean, the things that you're bringing, the grievances, I hear grievances in some of these cases, they matter, but not enough to be the main topic of our people as a whole. That should not be the main topic. The main topic should be, how can we come together? What is our strategy for progression besides coming together and making babies? Besides, we ain't a problem doing that. You understand? Our numbers are not like the Europeans' numbers are dwindling. You know, that's not that shouldn't be our main concern. You understand? We don't have a problem in that department. So that's not the main issue. The main issue that we're dealing with is the division amongst our people as a whole, not just men and women, but as a whole. We are divided. Men and men, women and women, men and women, women and children, men and children, and all of that, right? We are all divided as a people. That's the problem. And that's the problem that needs to be addressed. Okay. So, anyways, I'm gonna let y'all go on and get whatever it is y'all need to get done. I'm probably gonna go eat, and I will see y'all later. Shalom.